What is up, guys? It's girl here, Paul Maverick, and got a movie review with you guys. Got a movie review. I know it's kind of been a bit because the last movie review that I did was for excuse me, not a new. It was Pranat Chitari, and they did Anayan, and then I just recently did a review for Kaki for a new automation, and this movie review is for Incom, which I think I misunderstood their request, but then again, as a shout out, they said their name was Vikram, and yet turns out it may have been a name of a movie, which I did review, which this is the review that's about, that's also called Vikram. So I think the shout out may have been a request for Vikram. But anyways, Incom, hopefully you and I can resolve this. No issues. It's no biggie. Just want to make sure I'm not. I want everyone to have their moment for their request to be met and have their moment for a shout out. That's what I always, take a while for certain reviews because I want everyone to have their moment. I don't want to do, like, for example, Chirag, I don't always want to do a movie review for Chirag because there's other people who want their request. Hey, review this movie, check this movie out. So I want a fair balance with everyone. So, Incom, this is for you. They had requested I watch Vikram, and Vikram is a spin-off. I actually did research on this. Is a spin-off of a movie back in 86. And it happens to be in the same universe of another movie we had discussed, Incom and I discussed, called Kaith, which I had already seen before because I actually stumbled upon it. And Incom and I both agree that the cinematography is just awesome because it reminded me a lot of the gun kata scenes in Equilibrium, which stars Christian Bale. But in Vikram, so much was happening. I literally had to watch this movie 3 times, and thank you again, Incom, for letting me know it was on Amazon Prime. Had to bum off someone's account to watch it, which they were kind enough to let me do. This was released back in 2019. No, this was released this year. And again, thank you again, Incom, for letting me know it was on Amazon Prime. So, Vikram, I had to watch 3 times because the first time was like, wow, awesome. And then the second time, I really wanted to understand what was really going on because so much was happening. So much was happening in this movie. And the third time, to fully understand everything and fully dissect everything. Oh, that was a big hair in my mouth. I had to watch it again. So, oh my gosh. Like I said, I had to watch it 3 times to fully understand the whole thing. I even had to write down certain characters because, again, I had to understand the whole thing. So the basis of the story is that masked vigilantes, like, so far, okay, like I said, there's so many things happening. I just wanted to. So, Amar, who is ahead of the black team, is given an assignment by Jose, telling him to bring a band of masked vigilantes to justice because they had killed someone who was someone of interest, who happened to have killed other people. There was one by the name of Prab. I'm going to say Prab. So had killed him and supposedly had killed another person named Karan, which is a very, very key character, which I kind of saw coming, but it was really cool how they made it, how they came about with it. So basically, Amar goes in to find out why these individuals were killed. He goes more into Kanan's life. He was a womanizer, he was a drug addict, he was a drunk, but he was a very family man. He was very close to his adoptive infant son, who just so happens that the guy that was killed is actually his son because, like I said, how it went about. And it just so happens that he's Agent Vikram, who was chief of a black pilot back in the 80s, and who was like a former Black Ops team, just like Amir was. Amir is head of the Black Ops team, which he's assigned to this. So as you go more depth into it, it turns out that there is a guy named Sadhamian, which I'm just going to call Sand. So Sand is trying to find, because we find out there is a huge big payday on these drugs that they're trying to look for, which it just so happens that the masked men of vigilantes are somehow like part of it. So Sands believes that if he gives these drugs to this crime lord, this crime boss called Rolex, that he can have like the funding to do a his own government, his own thing, like he'll have his own territory, his own government, things like that. But however, there are some people who are trying to infiltrate Sand's plans. Veer Pandian, who is an officer, a PWD officer, and a contractor by the name of Randara, they feel like they want to find the locations of the drugs, because basically V met Randara at a casino theater, which is later hit by the vigilantes because of a chip of a brothel that the guy Karnar. I'm just say Vikram. Vikram, who was a customer at the brothel. So they hit the place up and kill Viram, but Randu runs away, and Amar goes in and captures one of the mass vigilantes and is known as Inspector Bejoy. And then it gets even more further down, because when they go to find Sairim, Vikram lets him know, hey, and it's not, it turns out Kanan's alive, Vikram's alive, and we find out that this is not a mission of vengeance, this is so he could take down the syndicate. Because what happened was, there was a botched mission in 91, and they were labeled as terrorists. So him and his team have been on the run and hiding for a good amount of time, trying to clear the names, at the same time trying to put down this drug syndicate, because this was triggered by his son's death, Parab, because this is not okay. Let's take this down, because this isn't a personal vendetta. This is not for vengeance. This is because these dogs, these wild animals, well, not really wild animals, are going to cause issues. So it just so happens that Amir ends up joining it because Sadim happens to kill his wife. But not before we find out, because what happens is these people, these vigilantes, Vikram, are targeting the people who are not only behind this drug syndicate, but they go to this wedding, which happens to be Render's daughter's wedding. And guess who was there? Sand is there for protection. Well, basically Sand thrashes them or like fights them off because they go after him because they end up dragging Radar out of there because basically they said, "Oh, whoa, we'll kill your daughter." They have her at knife point. It is all happening at the girl's wedding, that was pretty cool. Which is kind of like where you find out, kind of like the reveal scene of Vikram. Once all is said and done, because like I said, there's so many things happening. I'm like going as I go. As you just say, I skipped the wedding and went back to the wedding part, and so there's so many things happening in this movie. Like I said, I had to watch it 3 times, and I'm still wrapping my brain around it. Well, as the movie continues, like I said, Amara's family ends up getting killed. His wife, and then Sands tries to take on the daughter-in-law of Vikram's and the family, try to kill them. They end up having to drop by them, and the reason why Jose turns out to be a mole of Sands. So Jose, mind you, the guy who assigned Amir this case is the mole, and tells them and reveals Sands the identities of Amar and Vikram. So they blow up his basement, Sands' basement of drugs and things like that. And then the final fighting scene is like they kill Sands, they kill his men with a cannon, but of course they lost some people too. So, like I said, so many actions, like the ending actions, it was like, wow, so cool. In the end of the movie, Rolex hears of this, that they are still alive, and now that Amir joins the cause. I'm gonna join you guys because this is not okay. You're right, Vikram. They killed my wife. I'm gonna go with you because this is just too much. Too many people are gonna get hurt. Too many have gotten hurt and died, and people are going to get hurt and die. So Rolex puts a meeting that he wants their heads, that he wants them gone because he knows they're in his way. He knows that they are the ones that are in his way of continuing his drug business. But little does he know that Vikram is amongst them. So apparently he's tracked them down. And they're all in San Francisco. Vikram's family is in San Francisco. Things like that. And it's kind of cool because there's like a prison break-in. They break into to go get Inspector B. Joy, who was a part of the group, because he captured him, interrogated him. Yeah, like I said, there's so much more in that movie. Like they captured someone to get the location of where, like they captured one guy and then they killed him because they couldn't get information out of him of the location where where the containers were, because that was the main, to find the containers and give them to the crime lord, Rolex. That's a weird name. Give a crime lord Rolex. It is what it is. But Rolex says, I have the location. Majority of them are in San Francisco. I need you guys to get them. But little does he know, like I said, Vikram is hiding amongst them, hearing everything, and knowing fully well that they have to drop on them. So like I said, this movie, there was so much going on. Like I said, I had to watch it 3 times. Even with those 3 times, my head is still running around, I did. And in a way, like I said, you kind of knew that Vikram was still alive. But the way that he came out was kind of cool, predictable, yet it was still cool how they did it. But yeah, so 9. I'm going to rate this movie as a 9. I'm going to rate this movie as a 9. Good movie. So Incom, thank you so much. I know I didn't like Son of Sadiam. I didn't like it that much, but I did like this movie very much. Thank you so much. I'm going to give this movie a 9. The action was cool. The story was cool. The execution was cool. Yes, of course, the big reveal was predictable, but it was still cool how they went about it, how they executed it. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. So, I did enjoy this movie. Gonna give it a 9. Like I said, I watched this movie 3 times. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it because I'm still trying to understand it. Like, there was so many people. There was a huge cast of people. There was so much going on. So forth. So, I'm gonna give it a 9. Income, thank you so much. Like I said, I got confused because I thought your name was, you want to say as a shout out Vikram, but it seems like because you made a comment, because I just saw the comment that you said was please watch Vikram. Still waiting on Vikram, which I did watch before you put that comment on. So um, hopefully you enjoy this review. Like I said, I did enjoy this review. I didn't enjoy the movie. Excuse me. I enjoyed the movie. Hope you enjoyed this movie review. So if you guys want action and you guys want more to it, it's kind of cool that this is a spin-off of I can't remember the name, but it was a spin-off of a movie back in 1986, and it happens to run in the same cinematic universe as Keithiam. I think that was the name of the movie. I know it starts with a K, which just what happens. One of the actors works in this movie too. I think it was the actor for Be Joy. I could be wrong. Like I said, I was doing research on this movie, but that's what I understood from this movie. I mean, good movie. Like I said, I'm going to give it a 9. Thank you again, Incom. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you guys want to watch the movie, great. If not, heck, you know, my opinion is my opinion. We're all entitled to our opinions. And my opinion was this movie was a good movie. Hands down, good movie. Give it a 9. Like I said, love the action, love the execution. Yes, the main reveal was predictable, but it was kind of cool how they went about it. So, it is what it is, guys. This is what it is, folks. So, like, subscribe, favorite, share, however you guys do it. Hope you enjoyed this video. And hope you guys have a wonderful day today. And be safe there, okay, guys? Bye.